It's no secret that the past few years of first overall picks have been very up and down. This comes a few years after we had a pretty solid run of guys. Ever since Edmonton ended up winning 3 first overall picks in a row, the race and the list of guys at the very top of these drafts just started to improve year by year. Nathan MacKinnon is a superstar. Maybe he wasn't as good as he could have been right away. It took him a few years to get there, but now he is one of the best players in the league. Aaron Ekblad is a 2-time Stanley Cup winning defenseman, and a guy who at one point in his career was a bona fide, guaranteed number 1. All situations, he scored points, and he won the Calder Trophy in his first season in the NHL at 18. That's hard for a defenseman to do. Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews were both superstars right out of the gate and are superstars today. And then Nico Hischier and Rasmus Dahlin each had very strong transitions into the National Hockey League in year 1 as well. It wasn't until the next few seasons that we started to see first overall picks struggling in the NHL in their very first years in the league. We already chronicled 6 years ago how Jack Hughes had the worst points per game, points per 60, and point production metric in 20 years amongst first overall picks in their rookie seasons up to that point. It wasn't until the next season when Alexis Lafreniere literally did worse. Owen Power didn't even make the National Hockey League right away. He spent another year in college. And then you have Juraj Slafkovsky and Connor Bedard, 2 guys that are doing very well nowadays, but who didn't necessarily have as good of a rookie season as some may have hoped. Yes, I get it, Bedard still produced a lot and he still won the Rookie of the Year, but expectations for this guy were like McDavid level. They were expecting point per game, 100 points if you were to go on the high end, and even though he still ended up winning the awards that he did, Connor Bedard's rookie season and subsequent sophomore season definitely left some room to be improved. But now we head over onto the recent first overall picks, because Macklin Celebrini is a superstar right now, and Matthew Schaefer is a superstar right now too. And in fact, this is fueling that New York Islanders, New York Rangers rivalry so hard that it's starting to look terrible for the New York Rangers. Here's the thing, you can't choose which draft season you get the first overall pick in. But generally speaking, amongst this list of guys, none of them were projected to being busts, and none of them were projected to being bad. They were all supposed to be superstars. And honestly, amongst this list, from 2013 up until 2025, when you consider how these players have aged, I would say there's maybe only 2-3 players that are not superstars, quote unquote. You could debate Nico Hischier. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that he's a pretty good player, very, very solid. Jack Hughes is a superstar. Owen Power is not there yet. Alexis Lafreniere, he's not there yet either. Take a look at this tweet made by FitzGSN. He does stuff on DK Sportsbook, and he used to do stuff for NHL.com, BetMGM, and others. He went out there and said that Matthew Schaefer being kind of nice is pissing me off. This was back on October 21st, 2025. A reply to this tweet from Primordals Un goes out there and says this: if Matthew Schaefer outscores Alexis Lafreniere this year, I'm walking into the ocean. That tweet was back on October 21st, 2025. And 2 days ago, this user went out there and responded, hey, it ain't looking too good for me, man. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Schaefer is legitimately going out there and outscoring Alexis Lafreniere in the big grand old year of 2025-2026. Schaefer, 18 years old, has gone out there with 41 points in 59 games. He is on pace for 25 goals and 57 points. This guy is 18. He's not going to turn 19 until September. He has been so young this entire season, and he already has 18 goals to his name in the National Hockey League. Talk about a way to debut. Talk about a way to literally put yourself in the top rank of 18-year-old defenseman goal scorers in NHL history. There's nobody else who's done this before. Meanwhile, Alexis Lafreniere is 24 years old, experienced winger at this point. How many NHL games does he have? He's got 438 regular season NHL games. And this season he's got 33 points in 58. On pace for 46 points, on pace for 18 goals. Are you telling me that Alexis Lafreniere is on pace to scoring as many goals in the total season that Matthew Schaefer has right now after only 59 games? Bro. What a way to shove it in the face of New York Ranger fans. And I understand that the Islanders are a really lucky team. The fact is, if you go over to the 2025 NHL Draft and you look at the lottery results, the Islanders were not expected to winning any sort of a draft pick. They had a 3.5% chance at drafting first overall. They were the second worst odds at getting number one. They were just on the outside looking in, and they ended up defying all the odds and winning the first overall pick. San Jose got second, Chicago got third. Obviously, these are the rankings that were likely to, but the fact that New York jumped all the way up, that is absolutely insane. And Matthew Schaefer, a guy that a lot of people were kind of, I don't want to say they were skeptical of, but there was reason to be skeptical of him. Not because he's bad, but because he didn't play any games in his draft-eligible year. Yes, he was over a point per game, but he only had 17 games. He was recovering, and he was hurt. So Matthew Schaefer not really being an option to be watched in 24-25 definitely hurt his stock a little bit, but that didn't slow him down because he still got taken first. There was still such an impressive resume of work that he did do in the OHL and at the World Juniors that it was enough for the Islanders and potentially a whole bunch of other teams to look at him and say, yeah, that's the first overall pick. And now we're seeing why. He is in the National Hockey League. He is one of the best defensemen in the league already. Let's just go over to defenseman points and see how many guys have more points than Matthew Schaefer as a D-man this season. Oh, shout out to Connor McDavid, first guy to hit 100 points this season. It's not like it's too difficult for him. But all right, so here is the defenseman scoring list. You have Matthew Schaefer, who is tied for 13th in the NHL in overall D-man points. He is tied with Mikhail Sergachev. Only Morrissey, Carlson, Sanderson, Heiskanen, Chychrun, Dahlin, Radish, Makar, Hughes, Hudson, Werenski, and Bouchard have more points than Matthew Schaefer in the National Hockey League. I'll tell you what, right now, that's a lot better than what we saw out of Aaron Ekblad in 2014-15. I mean, that was a season where Ekblad was able to win himself the Calder Trophy, even though he didn't really score too many points. I mean, look at all the guys that had points here in this season. Aaron Ekblad was 29th. He had 39 points in 81 games that season, his first year in the NHL. He ended up winning, though, because he had 21 minutes average, and he was blocking all these shots, and he was physical and doing some really good work there. Top defenseman in the league had 60-plus points that year. It was a different league at that time, man. Shout out to Dennis Weidman, too, for also being one of the top guys. But ultimately, all this goes to show off is the fact that Matthew Schaefer is doing things that we have not seen before. And when you directly compare it to other first overall picks of yesteryear like Alexis Lafreniere, it really makes you sting, man. It really makes things not feel great. And if you're a Rangers fan, it's all of a sudden like, hey, why couldn't we have gotten the first overall pick in another year? Why did we have to get the first overall pick that sucks out of this list, comparatively speaking? It could be worse. You could have gotten Owen Power, but you also could have gotten Jack Hughes. You also could have gotten Slavkovsky or Celebrini. With all that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Schaefer, Lafreniere, the first overall picks, and the ones to come as well? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.